Hey guys, I hope you all are doing great. Welcome to this brand new course on Langchain. Let me start off by introducing myself. I am Ankur Raut and have recently started exploring this field of large language models. I think that it is a great opportunity for me to share my knowledge. We have put in maximum effort to provide you the best content, and we have covered almost all the components of Langchain in this course. By the end of this course, we guarantee you that you will be most comfortable with the LangChain framework, as well as you will be able to build your own applications using LLMs. First of all, let us understand and let us answer the most basic question: what is LangChain? So LangChain is an open source framework that is simply used for creating applications using large language models. So it is a Python as well as a JavaScript framework that provides you with a number of features that makes it easier for you to work on large language models. It is a lightweight framework which can be easily integrated with existing applications. It is flexible, so it can be used to create a variety of applications. It gives you a way to store and manage the LLM data. You can build applications that can interact with LLMs directly in real time. So let us look at some of the applications, some of the use cases that we can build using this LangChain framework. First of all, the chatbots. So using large language models, you can have multiple functionalities clubbed into one application, and you can build a chatbot out of it for a specific task that you want to perform. There are different NLP tasks that can be performed using LLMs, such as summarization, classification, translation, etc. So you can club all those and make an application out of it. Then we have the question and answering system. Nowadays, one of the most famous applications of large language models is question and answering on your document. So you can build a system of you can build a system on that. You can make the you can make the LLM to answer your questions, and you can make an application with the help of language. So this is all about the applications. We'll be looking more about the applications as we go further into the course. Now, in the course, we have used the OpenAI large language model. The models that have been provided by OpenAI will be using that. So to access them, we need an API key. So let us see how to generate this API key of OpenAI. So first of all, you have to visit this website of OpenAI, that is openai.com. Then you have to log in. When you log in, you will be given three choices. You have to go to the API section. When you go to the API section, you will be given a dashboard. Now on your dashboard, you have to go to your profile and view API keys. In API keys, you have to generate this new secret key. You have to generate this key and you have to store it at a place where it can't be leaked, because the API key has pricings and it has a pricing on tokens. So all this will be discussed further. So this is how you generate the API key. Now further, Vidika will continue from here.
So, hello everyone, and welcome to our course on Langchain. I am Vitika Punglia, and I'm very excited to be here. So, let me begin by introducing myself. I am super passionate about generative AI, and I have been exploring Langchain in the last few months. So, I think this is an excellent opportunity for me to share my knowledge with you all. So, let's begin. Now that you all are aware about what LangChain is, what are the use cases and applications of LangChain, and why is it emerged as such a famous framework, let's get into a detailed understanding about this framework. So let's begin by starting with the components of LangChain. So the components of LangChain are schemas, models, prompts, indexes, memory, chains, and agents. So our aim is that we'll be diving into each of these components gradually as we progress in the course. And today we'll be covering schema in detail. So let's begin. Okay, so now let's talk about schema. Every language that is available, such as Python or Java, they have their own data types, right? So something like int, long, string, double, all of these are data types. Now, similarly, schema is also defining the basic data types that are used throughout the code base in LangChain. Okay, so now schema can be further divided into text, chat messages, examples, and documents. Okay, now let's talk about text. So basically, when working with a large language model, also known as an LLM, the primary interface through which we interact with the LLM is through the text or the words. So a large language model, you might have heard, is being trained on millions or billions of parameters, or also called as tokens. So whenever we need to ask the large language model something like what are the days of the week, or when is the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, so this is the text that we give as an input to a large language model, and also the large language model returns us text. So this is an example of text. Now moving on to chat messages. So the next important type under chat messages are system chat messages, human chat messages, and AI chat messages. So now, what does a chat message mean? So when we want to interact with the AI system, we use these chat messages. So a system chat message, it represents the information that should be given as instructions to the AI system. Okay, so now let's take an example to understand this. We have a system available with us, okay? And we can tell the system that, for example, you are a travel agent that helps in planning itineraries, or you are assistant to a lawyer that helps in forming contracts, or for example, you are an assistant to a doctor that helps in writing prescriptions. So this is basically we're instructing the AI system to behave like someone. So that is known as a system chat message. Then we come on to the human chat message. So a chat message that represents the information coming from a human, someone like us, is known as a human chat message. So now that I have defined the system that it is a travel bot which is going to help me decide an itinerary for a trip. So a human message for something similar could be plan a trip for Humpy. That is going to be a human chat message, and then the corresponding AI chat message to that will be the reply that we get from the bot or the AI system. So basically, AI chat message, it represents the information that is coming from the AI system. Okay, and don't worry if you haven't understood this right now. We'll be taking a deeper dig on this in the coding section. So I think you'll get a better understanding out there. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so moving on to examples. So examples are the input-output pairs that represent the input to the large language model and also the expected outcome that we require from the large language model. So examples are mainly used for fine-tuning or for few-shot prompting, and both of these will be discussed further as we progress. Now moving on to the next one, which is documents. So documents, they simply consist of the metadata, which is the auxiliary pieces of information describing the attributes of the data. So basically a document is going to be containing the metadata to the actual data. And I will be showing you an example of this document when we code. Okay, so now let's move on to the coding section. Okay, so we are going to be coding in Google Colab, and these notebooks are going to be made accessible through GitHub to you. So let's begin with the first code, which is on schemas. Now, the prerequisites over here are that you need to install OpenAI and Langchain. So I have done that over here. Then you need to import the OpenAI library, and you need to have a variable for storing your OpenAI key. So as you know how to create an OpenAI key, you need to pass in your key over here. Okay. So now earlier we talked about text, right? So our text will look something like what day comes after Friday, or when is the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, or something like when is the Independence Day for USA celebrated. So all of these are examples of text, and the technical term that we use for this is called as a prompt. Okay. Now let's move on to talk about chat messages. So when we're talking about chat messages over here, as we discussed, the three types that we use are human messages, system messages, and AI messages. So now first over here I have used the chat OpenAI model from the Langchain.chat models, and we'll be talking about this in a later video. But I have initialized the chat OpenAI model and I have set the temperature to zero point 0.7. Now what is this temperature parameter? Let's understand this. So I think most of you all might have used ChatGPT, right? And if you can observe in ChatGPT that for the same prompt or for the same question, it will give you different answers. That is because there is a temperature setting and which gives you a variance in your answers. So if the temperature setting is set to 0, all of the answers that you will get is going to be the same. Whereas if the temperature setting is not it's not 0, it will give, it allows the large language model to use more of its creativeness as well as imagination to make an enhanced answer. So that is basically what the temperature setting means out here. Then we have passed in the OpenAI key over here. Next, this is the system message, something like you are a nice bot that helps a user figure out where to travel in one short sentence. And the human message for that is, I like the beach, so where should I go? And the corresponding AI message that you get is that you should explore the charming old and indulge in delicious French cuisine. Okay, so now additionally, if you want to experiment with this, you can even go to the OpenAI playground, which is available over here, and the link will be in the description as well. So now this is the system message. You have put that you are a travel assistant, and the user has written a trip to Hampi. So the AI message that you get is basically this. And over here, you can adjust the temperature settings as well. Okay, so now let's go and talk about documents. So now we're importing the document from again langchain.schemas and we're making a document object over here. So one of the attribute is the page content, which is the actual content, and second is the metadata which is related to it, which is the document ID, document source, and the time of creating the document. So all of this has been passed into creating the document, and you can see that the object document has been created over here. Okay, so this was all for the first video, and I hope you all liked it and found it insightful. Please feel free to drop any of your questions or doubts in the comment section, and we will answer them happily. So thank you.